Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Habib Ali and I am an ICT tutor by profession. So welcome back to another lesson. In today's lesson we are going to be learning about what is scale to fit in Excel, how to use the scale to fit feature in Excel. Okay, so here we are back on our mileage worksheet using the destinations spreadsheets, which we have worked very hard in the last few lessons to create this spreadsheet. Let's go ahead and look at today's question. So the question is, apply settings to the worksheet so that it will print portrait orientation and 2 pages wide by 1 page tall. Okay, let's have a look at the mileage worksheet. Now on the worksheet you can see there are these page breaks, these broken lines. These broken lines, they indicate where the page break is. What that basically means is if you were to print this spreadsheet, the first page will be printed up to column B. The second page will be printed up to column E, and the rest of the section here, column F, will be printed on a third page. Now you can see, just for the sake of one column to be printed on a third page is not really a good idea. Just a wastage of paper, really. So this scale to fit feature is a wonderful thing. You can tell Excel how many pages you want your mileage worksheet to be printed in terms of how many pages wide and how many pages tall. Now initially that doesn't make much sense, but I want to give you a little example. So I've got these rectangles here to represent pages. So just think of this being page 1, page 2 and page 3. So at the moment, if I was to print this mileage worksheet, going off the page breaks, which I have just shown to you, it will print 3 pages like this. Now if I got rid of one page and somehow I got all this information to fit to 2 pages and just print the information on page 1 and the rest of it on page 2. Now wouldn't that be a good idea? I'm sure you agree with me, for the sake of one column you don't want to be printing a third page, just wasting paper. So this feature that we have, scale to fit, I'm going to show you first of all where it is. Now if you are on the home tab, what you need to do is go to the page layout tab, and once you've done that, it's inside this group here called scale to fit. Now I'll be honest with you, as you remember in the previous lessons I have mentioned a few times that in the IT world there's always more than one way of doing a particular task, such as the scale to fit. Now you can even do it using the page setup group, or you can even do it using the scale to fit group. I'm going to show you this time using this group, scale to fit, and I'm not going to be using these options here at this moment because I'm trying to show you or teach you. So I'm going to ask you to open this group like so, using the launcher in the corner, and once you have done that, you get access to this group called page setup. Now you would have got access to the same window here with the page setup by also opening this group. This is why I said it doesn't really matter which one you use. In a previous lesson I did actually use this group, but in this lesson I've decided to use this group here, just to show you that they both actually bring you to the same window. However, the option we need for today for scale to fit is here. It says scaling. Now this is the option we need. Now, if you remember, the question was to fit our spreadsheet onto 2 pages wide by 1 page tall. So which basically means if I was to print the spreadsheet, it will be printing 2 page wide but 1 page tall. I will explain that to you a little bit in a minute, so please don't worry, bear with me. But for now, I'm going to show you how to actually set this setting to print by 2 pages wide and 1 page tall. The first thing we need to do is select this option, fit to. So once you've got fit to, then Excel is asking you, okay, by how many pages wide? So in here we need 2 pages wide. And then it's asking you by how many pages tall? Well, we need 1 page tall. So to represent this example, 2 pages wide and 1 page tall, I'm going to first of all click OK. And then I'm going to be using these rectangles. Now I'm going to move this one out of the way. So at this present moment, these two being side by side, this is what we call 2 pages wide but 1 page tall, meaning the width is over 2 pages. So this is why we call it 2 pages wide. But the height is only 1 page tall. Even though we've got two sheets here, the width is being represented by 2 pages, but the height is still 1 page. So let me give you another example just to explain. If I move this one down here, so at the moment, you've got how many pages wide? Well, I can see 1 page wide, but how many pages tall? We can see 2, right? Yes, so this you can refer to as 1 page wide, but 2 pages tall. So why have these settings? What are they for? And why does it sound confusing? Initially, it is confusing. I'm going to break it down even further for you. So let's say this spreadsheet. The information set on this spreadsheet is actually wide. So the information is going across the page rather than too much information going down the page. So the height of this worksheet, mileage, the height of this worksheet isn't very much. However, the width of this worksheet is quite a bit. So if you were to set or use this scale to fit feature before you print, ideally, because your information on this worksheet is actually wider, it is better to have the setting 2 pages wide and 1 page tall rather than having it this way, because your information is wider than being taller. So this wouldn't be a good idea in this particular example that you are using or we are using in this mileage worksheet. But if your information was to be a different spreadsheet and your information was going downwards more rather than going across, then absolutely you would use this setting. Let me show you. So you would choose, instead of 2 pages wide, you would choose 1 page wide and 2 pages tall, because your information is taller rather than wider. So I hope this made a lot of sense to you, and that's only one example I'm using of 2 sheets. By all means, if you were working on a very big spreadsheet, you could have, I'm going to bring this one back in now. You could have 3 pages wide and 1 page tall. You can have, I'm going to bring this one further down for you. So you can have 1 page wide and 3 pages tall. So that's what the scale setting is all about. There is nothing more to it. I have explained everything you need to understand about this scale to fit. Now I'm going to show you the print preview. So if I just take this off and we go back to just 100% like it was. This is the default setting. If I show you a print preview, you will see, okay, I'm just going to get rid of my shapes because the shapes will make a big difference in terms of how many sheets I am getting. So if you go back to print preview, I'll do it this way for you. So you've done your setting. This is what it was, 100%. If you go to print preview, we should have 3 pages, because if you remember the page breaks we had one there, and then if I go to the next page, we had another one there, and if I go to the third page, we had a last column, this column here being on a separate page. So this was the original 3 pages, but we don't want that because we did say that this would be wasting paper. So let's go back to this setting, scale to fit, and we're going to apply this scaling to fit. So fit to 2 pages wide by 1 page tall. Now if I hit print preview just to show you what the result would be, let's have a look. Okay, so now we've got 2 pages. We don't have 3 pages anymore. So what Excel has done, it has shrunk as much as required in terms of the text and the information on this worksheet. It has made them a little bit smaller as much as required so that they actually shrink to fit to 2 pages, which we have asked Excel to do. So if I scroll to the next page, you can see the last column is actually fitting on the second page, and there is no more third pages. You can see it says 2 of 2. So this is everything you need to know about scale to fit. I hope you remember the examples I gave you of my 3 sheets of paper. That's a good visual example, so please do rewind the video if you need to and watch it again and get the understanding behind how and what the scale to fit option in Excel is all about. Just going to have a final look at the question to see if we have answered it. Apply settings to the worksheet so that it will print portrait and 2 pages wide by 1 page tall. Well, we've done the scaling. This is just an orientation portrait, so it is by default. Actually, it was on portrait, so we don't really have to do anything. But if you did have to change it, then this is the setting here, which I have explained in another lesson, whole lesson on page orientation. This is where this orientation setting is. So like I said, you can see it's on portrait. When I went into print preview, you can also see here that it is in portrait. So that's the end of this lesson. So if you do have any comments or any further questions, please do leave it in the comment section below. And this brings us to the end of the lesson. So please do like and share, and please do remember to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so. There are many more tutorials to come. My plan is to do tutorials on Microsoft Word, Microsoft Access, Microsoft Publisher, Microsoft Excel I'm currently doing, and many other software. So I have got big plans for this channel, so it is a good idea for you to subscribe and pass on the message to your friends and family so they can also benefit from my channel. So until then, please take care, and I will see you over in the next lesson. Goodbye for now.